Plaintiff Kendra Lewis met the defendant at a fraternity party, and they started dating. Kendra says everything was good until she pledged a sorority and stopped spending time with the defendant. In turn, Kendra claims the defendant cheated, and she found proof of his infidelities on the internet. Kendra is suing her ex for a bill and late fees. Defendant Casey Lindsay admits that things took a turn for the worse after Kendra joined her sorority. Casey admits that he had sexual needs that weren't being met by Kendra, so he turned to other women. And he's countersuing his ex-girlfriend for unpaid rent.
Start with you.
I met the defendant in 2006 and we began a relationship. I was attending University of Georgia where I received my bachelor's in psychology, and I was a full-time student. I was working and trying to pledge a sorority at the same time. The defendant,
Where did you all meet?
We met at a fraternity party.
Okay, he attended as well?
No, he didn't.
Okay, just hanging around college?
Well, he was just up there for the party.
Okay, go ahead.
Basically, we began our relationship. It was really good up until that point where I started pledging for a sorority. And the defendant, didn't like it because I never had time for him. So I guess he went and found time somewhere else. He left his Facebook page up one day, and I was able to go in and look at his messages. And basically, he had very intimate conversations with about 20 girls. And Your Honor, if you would like to look at this.
Let me see something. You didn't have time for him. He didn't have time for you with 20 women. See, females don't understand that the only reason why a man cheats is because he is not satisfied sexually. A real man is a sexual creature, and we love to have sex. But when we find a woman that will do whatever it is to satisfy us, then everything else will come. All right, you want to say anything about this before we go any further? You had 20 women you were trying to get up on while dating her?
Well, Your Honor, if you don't mind, I was thought from the beginning how I met her, which was true what she said about me meeting her at a fraternity party. When I moved to Athens in 2007, we moved in and whatnot, and everything was great, up until she started pledging her little sorority. And I made it clear, Your Honor, I wasn't, just that active of a sexual creature, but at the same time, I was like, Kendra, I got needs too. I understand that you being with your sorority sisters because I'm part of a fraternity myself. I understand that. But at the same time, though, you have a responsibility with me too. And every time when I would try to, be a little intimate with her, she would always go to sleep. She was always too tired for me. So eventually I ended up finding my entertainment elsewhere.
20 though, you're 20 deep.
I wouldn't say all 20, Your Honor.
Go ahead, ma'am.
Basically, we broke up that day that I found the messages. Two of my friends came and helped me move my stuff back into my apartment. But before that, things were great. He had moved up to Athens, and he was staying with me until he bought an apartment in about September of 2007. Around that time, he needed furniture, so I went with him to the store to get this furniture.
Why did he move?
Basically, he wanted to move up to Athens to be around me.
Okay. Did you move in with him?
I had my stuff. I did not physically move in with him, but I had spent so much time with him there that I was practically living there. But I still had my own apartment because in the event that something did happen, I was going to need somewhere to go. Okay.
All right. Let's get to the bill and late fees he owes you for.
Basically, he needed furniture, so I went with him to purchase furniture. And his credit was not good enough to get furniture. So I allowed him to purchase furniture on my account and on my credit, but with the conditions that he would pay the bill off and pay it off entirely.
How much was that?
Made. The initial amount of the cost of furniture was about $2,500. I'm not sure because the account is closed. He paid a few payments on the account, but basically the missed payments and the late fee.
Let's get a little more specific. What was the monthly payment? Did he pay the entire bill each month?
He started to,
right,
and then he stopped paying the bill on time.
How many months did he pay the full payment?
He made a total of 7 payments.
Okay, so
for a total of $514.
7 payments total. How much per month?
It varied.
The full amount that was due each month?
Yes, it varied.
And what was the total payment requirement?
We had 1 year to pay it without interest.
So it was 12 months to pay it off?
Without being charged interest. He didn't pay that first year at all, Your Honor.
The agreement with the furniture place was for 12 months?
Yes, sir.
How many of the 12 months did you pay?
That I can remember 7.
All right, good enough. Why haven't you paid the other months?
Well, at the time, Your Honor, if you don't mind me saying this, that was our furniture because she moved in with me September of 2007 because it was for our
What was the
apartment.
agreement between the two of you?
Well, that I just was going to pay on it, you know,
Pay on it or pay it off?
pay on it.
What were you to pay?
The minimum, Your Honor, which I believe.
The minimum?
Yes, sir, which was like $100 some a month.
Okay, so you were going to pay the minimum every month. All right, wouldn't that be all of it?
Sir. But Your Honor, I stopped paying it because at my job we were getting furloughed.
Okay,
This
so
was
you-
after me and her broke up.
So the
and we
only
got-
reason you stopped paying is because your income was reduced.
Yes, sir.
So that means you owe it.
Yes, sir.
You have your bill, ma'am? Your counterclaim for $2,800 is for what?
Unpaid rent, Your Honor.
Okay. Now, how does she owe you for rent?
Well, because when she moved in with me, Your Honor, we were supposed to help out each other. You know, she was supposed to contribute to something in the apartment.
Sounds reasonable, but what was the agreement?
Well, we never really just
On
had an
rent.
exact number on the rent.
So
So she was
how-
going to pay something.
You want $2,800. That's based on what?
Half the rent a
But
month.
you never agreed on half.
No, we didn't.
What are you shaking your head to say, yeah?
Yes, sir. We never agreed.
All right, ma'am. What do you say about paying rent?
Your Honor, we never made an agreement to that. That was never stated. And when he was staying with me before he moved into his apartment, I never asked him for rent.
Sir? Is that
Only
true?
like 2 weeks, Your Honor.
It was more than 2 weeks.
How
Your Honor.
long?
It was from June until September.
That's off and on, Your Honor. I was with my fraternity brothers.
And I had my own apartment, Your Honor.
And you
I
never
was paying
agreed to pay rent.
And we never agreed to pay it.
You can only sue on the breach of contract if there was a contract. Because to have an agreement, it must be specific. You follow me?
Yes, sir.
You didn't have an agreement. And you just can't come up with a number because that's what you feel.
Yes, sir.
You have to have an agreement. All right. And so I must dismiss your claim if she doesn't believe it's fair to pay anything. And I'm going to have to grant her judgment because your only defense is that you could no longer pay. $3,478. Good luck to both you guys. Have a good day.
I'm happy he's doing his own thing and has his own life.
Yeah, I have no hard feelings towards Kendra. Everything's fine.